If you've been watching the other videos in this series, you know that it's taken us quite a while to be able to start the framing. We wanted to have all of the site work done, the foundation in, and things backfilled so that we could start the framing early in the spring. That would give us all summer, lots of warm weather. The way that we framed up this house is a little bit different than most, in that we poured the foundation an extra 14 inches tall so that we could drop all of the floor joists down inside the foundation. One of the things we did when we started this project was go out and purchase a crane. We bought a Grove crane. It's an 18-ton Grove, and we used it on this project for just about everything. Moving lumber, moving tools. It became just part of the crew. It allowed us to do things that we could not have done any other way. I'm not saying that everybody should run out and buy a crane, but it does make things a lot easier. We used a BC90 floor joist, 16 inches on center. I wanted to make sure that we got a really solid floor on both the main floor and the upstairs. There's something about a solid floor that makes for a really solid house. The other thing we did was double sheeting both the main floor and upstairs. Lumber prices are always changing, but at the time of construction, it was a lot less expensive to buy 2 sheets of 3/4 inch tongue and groove than it was to buy an 1.5 inch thick piece of subfloor. I really like the way that it turned out. I would definitely do it again in the future. Framing this house was a lot of fun. We had a lot of help from friends and family and neighbors that came to visit. Once we got the basement framed up and the main floor on, we were able to move everything upstairs so that we could start framing the main floor walls. The other thing that we did, knowing that the floor was going to be exposed to the elements, was waterproof everything with the Thompson's waterproofing. We bought several buckets, and then before we laid anything out or made any marks, we rolled out the waterproofing over the entire floor to help protect it from any surprise rainstorms. We also worked on framing up and preparing the forms for the concrete columns that support the deck. These are a little bit overbuilt, but I really like the way that they turned out. At the tops of the columns, we had some custom plates made that will allow us to connect to the columns with some really big posts. I've wanted everything on this particular house to be big and bulky. Everywhere there was a decision on what size something should be, we always went with whatever was biggest. As I have built houses over the last 30 years, one thing that I have come to understand is that I've never regretted overbuilding something. I have regretted underbuilding something. Even as we put the stairs together and the landing and the stairs, we certainly overbuilt it. But when I think about people running up and down those stairs over the next 30, 40, 50 years, whatever it might be, I think that we'll be glad that we overbuilt things. One of the things that made the project really fun was being able to share it with the kids. Even though I have had the opportunity to work on stuff like this for a long time, this was all new and exciting, especially for the little kids. It was really fun to let the kids try new things and have new experiences while building this house. I don't know if there's any other way that you can share those types of things with kids, especially at a young age, if you're not doing it at your own house. One of the reasons that I really enjoy construction and building was the opportunities that I had as a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, 7, 8, to be able to work on projects around my house with my family. The house has a front porch that is concrete over a root cellar, which will ultimately be a covered porch. But that required quite a bit of work in order to get the span deck in that would support the concrete. It was a little bit of a headache while trying to frame things, not being able to get up to the front of the house and access that area. But I think it's going to make a really nice, long-lasting, maintenance-free front porch area. As I said earlier, we really wanted to oversize everything. So when it came to glue-lam beams, headers, we went the extra mile and overdid things, knowing that we were going to be putting a post and beam roof on top of this house. We wanted everything to be as solid as possible. In some places, we definitely overdid it, but I don't think that we're going to regret it. Putting up the second floor was quite difficult. It was a lot more cut up. There was a lot more detail to it. There was bigger spans, and a lot of the point loads from the roof that had to run down and connect through the walls, through the floors, and ultimately down into the basement and onto footings were all things that had to be considered, which slowed things down, but gave us a lot of confidence that we would be able to stack the roof on top and not have any issues down the road. I think I actually enjoyed working on the second floor more than I did on the main floor. The views were better, and we were getting so close to being able to get started on the roof. There were several items that we left undone down in the basement intentionally so that we would have something we could work on during the rainy days. So when we got rainstorms during the summer, we would just move downstairs and pick up window framing or backing or blocking, whatever it was that needed to be done. Just like on the main floor, once we got upstairs double sheeted, we went and waterproofed everything to help protect it from the rain.